Hello everyone, we have our first series review today. Of course, as the Nashville Predators were just swept by the Colorado Avalanche. Taking a look at this in game one, it kind of started off early and often as the Avs were able to pile it on. They outshot Nashville 45-25, went 2 for 5 on the power play compared to 1 for 4 for Nashville. Notables, there were 5 goals in the first period of game one of the series. McKinnon and Taves scored 22 seconds apart in that span. 6 different Avs scored goals in that game. Connor Ingram, a former Tampa Bay pick in net, came on in relief in net. Did well, but it was too late for Nashville in that game, as again the Avs were just dominant and they were able to score down low, high slot, and then of course from the top of the face-off circle. Now game 2 was not what you'd expect in the sense you look at the score. Avs were able to win in OT. They just dominated that game. But of course, Ingram was such a big factor in putting his team on his back and then even getting them to OT. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough as Cale Makar scored the game winner to give the Avs a 2-0 lead. And that was just crazy going into game 3 again in Nashville. That's insane. And then, of course, Colorado won game 3. They outshot the Preds 42-30, went 4 for 5 on the power play. And then Nashville went 2 for 3. Nashville, you got to feel good when you go 2 for 3 on the power play. Problem is, when you go up against the Avs and they're scoring 4 power play goals, probably means that you're losing that game. Interestingly enough, the Avs' first 3 goals of that game ended up being on the man advantage. Second period was really dominated by the Avs as well. They were able to take advantage of Nashville. Of course, ended up being a 3-2 period where they were able to outscore Nashville by 1 goal. So that could have been a lot worse for the Preds, but they were able to get 2 power play goals there. And unfortunately, that was another game where the Avs were able to put up a touchdown and a PAT on the Preds. And that was just, giving them a 3-0 series lead. That's a stranglehold for the Colorado Avalanche. And then we just saw game 4 end here. Notable, Nashville was able to grab their first lead of the series for something like 5 minutes, I think it was, and that was, short-lived because Cale Makar had that goal, and then you had Nichushkin that was able to get the game-winning goal, and then I can't remember who it was, but somebody had an empty net goal as well. Parting thoughts for this series, I predicted Avs in 5. I was going to give Nashville the benefit of the doubt and say gentleman's sweep. But, of course, the Avs were just too much for them. And, they're a well-oiled machine heading into the second round again, this time hoping for different results than previous playoff appearances. I don't think Mikko scored in this series, interestingly enough. See how that goes there and if that's noise for the next round. As for Nashville, they exceeded expectations in a way. They were able to make the playoffs. I was somebody that didn't expect them to make the postseason, but they did. But are still a team that I think a lot of us know are stuck in a spot where they're good enough to compete for a playoff spot, and that's about it. And they are really at a spot where they have to make a decision about where they're headed as a franchise. So that's all for this review. Please let me know your comments down below in this series. As a Preds fan, do you have any comments about this series, where you think your team should go? As an Avs fan, how do you feel about winning this series? I know Cookie is a guy that regularly comments on here that is an Avs fan, and I'm sure you're excited. Go ahead for you to pick up that series win. Everybody, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Stay safe, have a great night, and you go love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.